Do live.
What happened?
My headphones are dead.
Whoa, no. What did you do to
Because
them?
of you, we're doing a full audio podcast with no headphones, blindly. Because you don't want to do video.
Yeah.
It's okay, man. You know everybody respects you for it. But, yeah, man, it's, do you think, I look at, shit now, and the people that are still, like, in the black market, they show their faces all the time now. They don't give a shit. You notice that?
Oh, yeah.
Or at least more than before.
It's more
you know?
about, like, a safety blanket. It just feels good to, like, have things to yourself. I like secrets.
Yeah.
I like keeping secrets to myself. Or sharing secrets with certain people, but people just love sharing secrets, man, so I just got to keep them to myself.
That's true.
Yeah.
Especially, I see that a lot with, like, nowadays with weed. It's like they fucking, everyone has like, they fucking, people talk shit behind people's back all the time. You were just telling me yesterday where, like, people really like you because even though if you're, like, deal with someone who has beef with someone else, they still, like, you're always, like, in between.
Yeah, it's like being like in a diplomatic position or whatever, you know, just not really caring about that stuff, but always just being a good person. Just be a good person, and you don't have to worry about the drama. But drama it comes and goes. I'm here to, you know, enjoy it, but I never want to be a part of it.
Yeah, but you say you still want to keep being a part of the industry and go into, like, the legal side of the industry one day, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, that's the way it's going to go. Everybody's going to want to be legal eventually, I'd say.
You think so?
I think most people, or at least I think more people that don't are going to be converted over to wanting to be.
That's interesting coming from you, too, because you're, like, literally the first person on the pod that's going audio, no video. And it's like, I think that that is a sign of people who will stay in the industry is that they're able to, like, almost, like, walk in both worlds.
Yeah.
Or at least have respect for both worlds. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta. In the end, I mean, you have respect I have respect, you know, for the person that's always on the bottom working the hardest.
No matter what.
No matter what. They're not the ones with, you know, a shit ton of stock in the company, or, you know, they're not a corporate exec. They're just trying to make ends meet, and they usually just love weed. Those are the people that I want to see grow, you know, the actual growers that want to stake in the business and also want to see their work shine. I want to see those people grow. I don't want to see people that have ties with government officials, even small government. I don't want to see those people involved. I want to see less involvement there. But when there's less involvement, there's going to be whatever procedures that are going to give the government less money. It's just naturally going to happen that way. The reason why the government's there is to make sure they get their cut. And they're going to get it one way or another. So keep growing at home. Keep growing at home.
You know what I've been seeing doing this stuff in New York is because they just dropped our wholesale sales tax from 28% to 9%.
What?
So, like, for us, like, selling those wholesale blunts to dispensaries, I have to pay a 28% sales tax.
They dropped it?
They dropped it to 9% for wholesale.
For you?
Yeah, for wholesale, because, like, people like us. I think that the dispensaries still have to pay a crazy tax, but my point of bringing that up is I feel like they're going to start doing that. Like, they're going to start, like, there's a whole lot of debate, especially now in an election year, of, like, what they did in the legal cannabis market with just crushing people with taxes and making it so impossible to, like, have a legal cannabis business because of how high the taxes are. And they're just going to drop it. And, like, it's almost like we forgot that that's, like, an agenda.
Yeah.
They did that they're like, we're going to get as much as we can quickly because we can. And they did. And
they started high. The taxes are high. Nobody wants it. And they drop it. The moment they drop it, even to a level that's still not acceptable, people are like, oh, look at that. It looks nice. And then now it's 9%. That's still pretty high, you know, for anything.
That's true.
I don't want to pay shit. But I get it. Like, you have to. I'd rather see it kind of turn out like the beer industry where you've got so many choices. you're just overwhelmed and you're satisfied, but you still have home brewing. And I don't know if you know much about the beer industry, but there are people that home brew and sell their own beer on the side.
But technically that's illegal.
Yeah, but it's just, it's not like, it's really not I just don't think the IRS or the federal government needs to be that big of a dick about it. Like tax the rich or stop certain programs, focus more on the country and not, you know, people that aren't in the country or outside of the country. Focus on those things. And just, I don't know, this is more about the American people. In the end, it's more about giving more to the American people and taking from the government. That's what I'm thinking in the end. The
when
government,
it comes to like the high taxes.
When it comes to cannabis, just the cannabis plant itself, anything around it, I think that's what people should be gearing more towards. That like this is the last bit of real freedom that Americans have that care about the plant. You know, I mean, we have our privacy with the internet and all that other stuff, or maybe we don't. But with cannabis, like it's been illegal for 100 years or so or more or whatever, and we've had to create our own underground avenues to distribute it and to share it with people. And it's a passion for many of us. For some, it's a business. But regardless, we have.
I think it's both, though.
Yeah,
I think you do.
You have
that's
to.
Kind of
you
what
have
I was
to survive.
saying before. You know, it's like you have respect for all people who do, as long as they're working hard. You know, if they're just like go into it as a business and they're still trying to, you know, create a brand, find good, well-sourced product, bridge it to the end consumer. Even if you don't come from the industry, do you welcome that?
Yeah, I mean, I welcome most things, honestly. Like the more, because everything's going to change. Everything keeps changing anyways. And in the end, I think the most important thing is that the people and the black market keep a certain level of power and influence over all of it. That's the most important thing, because that's what the true connoisseurs want. What the true connoisseurs want is currently sitting in black market.
How could that go away?
It will never go away.
You don't think so?
It will never go away. I mean, it may go away in like 100 years, 50 years.
That's what happened with alcohol, right?
Yeah. I mean, cannabis might not be an interest to people in 50 to 100 years, but that's another generation. That's a generation down the road. So things could be different.
Maybe.
There could be a new drug. I mean, meth wasn't around 50 years ago. Molly wasn't around 50 years ago.
It wasn't?
50 years ago? No, I mean, maybe it was like, I think it was Alexander Shulgin. I don't know who
like
was discovered
ecstasy,
it.
Right?
He discovered it, yeah, like maybe the 50s or 60s or maybe
Okay,
like
yeah,
30s or 40s.
Wasn't it like made to like help couples, like, or married couples that were like going through issues? Was
I
it,
don't
like,
know.
made for that? I think it was.
That's awesome.
I think ecstasy was made for that,
that's great.
which is sick.
MDMA.
I've actually never done it.
But back to what we were talking about, cannabis and the black market. That influence, it'll never go away, like you said. And it needs to kind of show the legal market what the people want. So the legal market can try to adopt to that, which it won't, because it can't right now with government regulations. And once the government recognizes that and finds a way to give it back to the people and realizes that it won't be able to extract as much profit and utility as it thinks it can.
Have they ever done that with anything?
Along with like, you know, tobacco and big alcohol and big pharma, once they realize that, then things will move in the right direction. Of course, they're going to want a piece. It's basically what I'm saying is people need to understand they're going to start losing money. And it's just, the thing is, it's older people. It's mostly older people. Some people who've got stocks in it that are, middle-aged. But if the youth really cared about marijuana, or cannabis, I should say, they should definitely support black market as much as they can.
Interesting. Actually, I don't even think we've really talked about that a lot on this show. Like, in that sense of like trying to praise selling, like, or purchasing from the black market, because do you see any? I wonder if any legal dispensaries or legal cultivators try to actually use that as like marketing.
I think there are some.
That's interesting. Like, what if you did that? That's kind of like funny. If like you, let's say like even my brand, right? Let's say like my legal brand in New York, it was like we tried to use for marketing to encourage people to still support the black market. Like it's non-taxable income. I wonder if that's even like a good, smart thing to do or whatever. But that is kind of like alternative in a way, right? Is telling people to support the black market of cannabis, but it doesn't feel that way. It almost feels like the opposite, right? It's like the people that are really into weed, they almost are trying to be sold to go to a dispensary more. You know? It's like,
hard.
What's alternative? Like, alternative to a stoner is like, go to try out the dispensary.
Yeah.
Which you wouldn't think, you know? It's like everything's fucking backwards. With a lot of stuff when it comes to, like, legality, I feel like, you know? Like how you know, like, people who lean left or right in politics have kind of reversed in the last like 40 years. You know, it's like I feel like capitalism has reversed, especially in the the cannabis market. You know, it's like the powerful is the black market. What other industry is it more powerful in the underground, non-taxable income market than the legal commerce market? Like, what other product is that?
Can't think of one.
I can't think of one either. You know? Maybe, like, it's funny, as we watch City of God, and I was asking you if it was Africa, but it's Brazil. It's kind of like about the hood in Brazil. But, like, I was just thinking of, like, Africa with, like, diamonds. I wonder if that's, like, a thing with, like, diamonds.
What about them?
You know, like, maybe there's, like, some type of, like, smuggling.
Oh, there definitely.
You know what I mean?
Like,
that is more of a market than the legal taxed market.
Yeah, I mean, was it blood diamonds or something like
Right.
that? That's a whole crazy thing that I don't know much about. I could never.
But that's like an example. But it's so exotic to bring up something like that to compare to cannabis, because blood diamonds.
Yeah, no, you can't. That's
You know, and that's kind of, and I think that's why you see a lot of things around about fentanyl and weed, is where like they're almost trying to find something that would be the blood diamond of weed, right? Would be like fentanyl and flour on the street.
And it just won't happen. It just won't happen. I did read about what's it, like the state representatives of Connecticut, like the Republican Party. They're trying to reverse this law, or like add a bill that gives police more ability to pull you over for cannabis. So if they right now,
because the smell, because you can't get pulled over for smell.
that's right. Yeah, you can't get pulled over for that, and like
or you can't get like searched or
and even
like
if they
that.
see you smoking, I don't think they can. So
Which
like
is crazy though, if you think about it. You know?
I mean, they need to see probable cause first, and so I think it's great.
Get yourself a good lawyer if you're in the weed game. Trust me.
It is. It's a good idea. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Tell me more about that. Like, I actually didn't see that about the Republican Party's trying to, in Connecticut, reverse a bill or implement a new bill.
Yeah, you just said it. They wanted to give police more ability to pull you over if they think you're smoking weed.
Not gonna lie, man. Connecticut's so whack with a lot of this type of shit. Yeah. And it's funny. You know, what I was thinking about the other day was just like things like that about Connecticut and like the laws and how so behind they are and how they're like the biggest state really trying to make it like a medical thing like that. They're like pumped about that fucking Schedule 3 shit.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, like they like did that. Like they were in the beginning only selling ground up flour and you had to have a pharmacist.
Stupid.
You know?
It's ridiculous. I don't know what
but
they're
this
doing.
is the state that not that long ago you couldn't buy alcohol on Sundays.
Yeah, but I don't think this has anything to do with those crazy Puritan laws. I'm very curious as to why the state of Connecticut's doing the things the way they do it, but you know,
You think it's corrupt?
I don't think so. I don't think
So
it's.
what do you think?
I just think it's ignorance and it's bureaucratic. So they're just doing things the way they would do anything bureaucratically, like the way anybody in government does things. It's not going to harm anybody, but it's going to be annoying as heck. And it's going to not be great. It's just going to be blah. We have a program. It's probably going to work, but it's not going to work great. It's not going to be robust. It's not going to have great options. It's going to get the job done. but it's going to push people back to black market because the black market has better options. You know,
Yeah,
it's
especially
like
in that state, man.
Yeah,
if
it's
anyone's
like-
out there and they know. Dude.
it's like it's pretty much like if I don't know, it's like the state of Connecticut medical programs offering you a Hyundai, but black market has Hondas, Toyotas, Lexuses, Jeeps, you know, Fords.
so it is variety, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Or you can
Oh
go
yeah,
get a
well think
Hyundai.
about that. Like how many cultivators are legal in the state of Connecticut? Isn't there only 3 active?
3 or 4, and
That's
they're
so
all
crazy.
pretty irrelevant.
That's so crazy. Rhode Island has like 100,
yeah, and Rhode
and
Island's
it's such
tiny.
a smaller state.
Yeah, it's like
One over 100.
Yep. I think that'll change eventually. So, you know, 10, 20 years down the road, maybe we'll be a lot more like other states, but just, I don't know, a little more
I honestly
organized.
doubt that.
I don't know.
I doubt that.
Yeah, I mean,
I doubt that
It just,
because of what I said about the alcohol thing.
Yeah.
Where like you couldn't buy alcohol on Sundays
insane,
like
right?
forever. You know, so I really don't think that they're going to do that.
What do they call those? The blue laws. Yeah, I just don't know. They're
never
going to
heard
keep
that
losing
term.
money. People keep going to Massachusetts to get other shitty weed.
Yeah,
So-
because it's cheap.
Yeah, it's
See,
cheap.
it's like it's turning into like.
Yeah, that's what
So
it is.
I will
It's
break
cheap.
it down. It's like Connecticut, you won't buy at a dispensary. Massachusetts, people travel there because it's cheap and good enough.
Yeah.
Maine is travel weed.
Yeah.
It's like you're going to. I was telling Trav this last week on the pod from Lobster Fam. I was like telling him like, yo, like it's Napa Valley
Yeah.
of weed.
Yeah,
And
man.
it's gonna be.
Yeah.
And they should keep trying to be that.
Absolutely.
You
They're not
know,
going to stop.
well, I think with the laws and stuff, like the medical is like Napa,
Yeah.
and that's like what it is up there, right? Because like, what's the laws in Maine? It's like it's rec but medical at the same time, and they have the same rules.
I think different rules, but they have both. I think they've got the nicest program in New England, best variety, all that jazz.
Well, when it comes to product, yeah,
You know, New York's not in New England, so I'm not talking about New York here. Just New England.
Oh, right.
But yeah, I mean, if they weren't so far away, it'd be even better. But it's nice
but
to
that's
see.
the point, right? It's like it feels
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a tourist weed thing, you know? Like
gonna be
it seems
busy
like
this
Napa.
summer.
So I'm saying it seems like Napa, like a Napa Valley thing, you know?
Absolutely.
Like someone should open up that type of like a vineyard for weed in Maine.
There's there's like places where you can get like catered, like if you rent like a nice Airbnb, there are chefs that'll do medicated like
In Maine?
5-course dinners. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, there's
But
like
there should be something like that, man. Like there should really be like think of our homies that are up there doing their thing. Like you could see like how great of a fucking place would it be? Shit, man, I want to fucking do that.
What?
Maybe hopefully fast forward 5-10 years and do something like that. Like in Maine, you could just open like a hospitality bed and
there's-
breakfast and just have all the good shit there. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like,
that'd be super cool.
Because Maine is that.
they probably have cannabis-based bed and breakfasts, I'm sure. There's nice clubs there, like lounges.
In Maine?
Yep.
I didn't even know that.
There's small ones that are really comfy and cozy and, you know.
Mike from Pine Tree bought a property that he does outdoors up there, and he wanted to do something like that. He's been telling me forever.
He should do it. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, especially in the summer, it's beautiful up there. So
Right.
like, there's a lot to think about, I'm sure.
Do
But-
people still go to events, you think? Because remember how big the bonfire was? Remember how, I mean, obviously High Bazaar was big. And like, I think that there's something about the High Bazaar. Like, I thought about the music because you know
Yeah,
how they
yeah.
they kept going and did their own thing. And I think they're even coming back, which is crazy. That's a whole nother thing. But,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they had music there and shit. Like, they did pride themselves on like having entertainment. So like, my point is it doesn't seem like there's events. Like, what was the other ones? And there's another one that was pretty. It was a big Derp Town, right?
Oh yeah, that one's in Mass, and
That's
I
what
think
I'm
they
saying.
still have those. They're big.
They're weed sessions still,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's
those
like
are
what
kind of
that is.
like little mini gatherings, or I guess you
See,
call
I
it a
see
sesh.
my
You
I
call it
see
a
my
sesh.
shit that were literally,
This is a club setting. This is
Yeah.
a club setting. Well, that's what this was.
but it is like a membership small sesh.
Oh yeah, it's intimate.
And I
This
feel
is
like I
intimate.
look at those as like fucking.
Those
like
are big.
concerts.
Those are so.
You know, and
what
like-
people call those. You're right. They're like sessions, and then something like PiffCon
Right.
June 2nd, is...
This will be out after that, but
Yeah.
still.
Oh,
Shout out Piff. Shout out the homie Piff.
That's like an event, you know?
Right.
So these outdoor events, or outdoor sessions, I should say, in Massachusetts and Maine, I think they're awesome. I think it's a great way for growers to, and like, you know, the teams to meet patients face to face. They have like fun little prizes. People make friends.
It's funny how much this stuff has evolved, because we met at the High Bazaar, what? How long ago? 4 years ago?
3 years ago.
3 years ago?
Yep.
So it's like, think about that, man. Like, dude, I try to do this more in life, business, everything that I'm doing. Like, you got to really separate yourself sometimes and like step back and be like, what has been really going on? Especially for us, like in this industry.
Yeah.
Like, so much has changed. So much is changing. You said that earlier. Like, it's changing all the time when it comes to events, when it comes to product. What did you tell me yesterday when we were chilling? You were like, what up? Breakfast Connections blunts. Here. You see them here. I'm smoking the cat piss one right now. Futurola hemp cones. I've been smoking blunts for 15 years. I love blunts. I put dank in Dutches every day. I wanted to put a product out in the legal market that was a piece of me. That's something that I like, and also like my people who are buying, like I said, buying eighths, popping up a tube to smoke a blunt when they're golfing, hanging out with their buds, don't have time to roll. The people who work in those office jobs, nurses, accountants, people who just come home, they don't want to roll, they just want to pop it open, get a good effect, a good burn. The thing about these is they're packed by hand by our homies Revert up in Saratoga Springs in New York. This is legal in the New York market. You can get them in, I think, 5 dispensaries now that we're in New York, and we'll list them here. Royal Flower, Northern Lights Dispensary, Upstate Canico, Legacy Dispensary. I think those are the ones we're in right now. We have a couple more coming online down towards Poughkeepsie and White Plains and that whole area. We're going to be getting into the city soon. Like I said, this is dank flower from Revert, hand stuffed in a Futurola hemp cone. I would never put a blunt out on the market that I didn't like. I've been putting good weed in Dutches my whole life. This is good. It's affordable. It's just flower in a blunt, not like all those other brands that have keef and hash and it's like $40, just 1 gram in a blunt. It gets you where you need to be, gets you stoned. It tastes good. It just checks all the boxes, and we wanted to make it affordable for the everyday end consumer, which is what we do on this podcast. That's what I know this is an interruption on this podcast, talking to a nice guest, someone who's in the community, building the bridge between the end consumer, smoking these blunts. Best way to support Breakfast Connections, Rosin Press Pod. Like, review, subscribe, comment, and buy some of these blunts when you're out in New York. My New Yorkers, we're just getting out there fresh and new. We've been getting great reviews on these things. We appreciate your support. I'll spark one of these up right now. That lighter doesn't work. That's embarrassing. Like I said, it burns nice. This is the cat piss right here. It's funny, like out in New York, hearing people. It's a legendary strain. I got it for effects. Knocks you out. Tastes good. Dank. Fumey. People are like, cat piss? I'm like, yeah. Get cultured. These things burn nice. No canoe. Tastes good. Get you high. Affordable. Check us out at these dispensaries you see below. Breakfast Connections, Rosin Press Pod. Moving forward. We love you. Thanks for all the support. Now back to this episode. You're like, I think that was one of the first things you said. You were like, people want, you were talking about products specifically.
Yeah.
You remember?
Oh, I don't. But
you were talking about like the first thing you told me because I haven't seen you in a little bit, and you were like, people are starting to like want different things. I think you're talking about like high-end hash here, right? Like there's really not that much of a market for high-end hash.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like it's not like I've got a big market. I don't have a very, very small small little pocket in one of the smallest states in the country. So
Right.
it's not a big deal, but we like talking about the shit that we got going on. So yeah, my people sometimes switch it up and want different things. And I'm kind of noticing that like, people want, more affordable rosin. Maybe they want to buy bulk of it. And they do buy bulk of it. They buy more of it when it's cheaper. Like,
Do you think that's
half of it.
because product has gotten better for an affordable price, or is it because
Yeah. There's both. Like I think the
full
affordable
spec has come around, right? Like
So
people
what's happening?
like full spec more than that,
Well, I still like 90U better, but what I think is happening is it's all about the starting product, and obviously most of the stuff is coming
fire in, fire out, as the growers
yeah,
say.
yeah. And most of this hash is coming from Maine, and truth be told, most Maine growers, they've kind of stepped their game up over the past like 12 to 24 months. Like cannabis is getting better out there, like almost overall, like everybody's improving, and that makes sense, right? Like it's the evolution of legalization. It takes X amount of time to grow this kind of cannabis.
But we're talking about black market.
Yeah. I mean, people are still growing.
But that's the funny thing is that you go, the evolution of legal means
say
that
legal?
you did well.
Evolution of cannabis.
My point is saying,
legal up there though.
But no, but you're kind of implying of that since weed laws have been easier, right? Like people aren't being locked up as much for weed.
What's happening is they're growing legally up there, and then people are grabbing it and then bringing it across state lines, and then it becomes illegal.
Right.
That's what's happening.
But like it goes to my point when we were talking downstairs about the more people are smoking weed every day, and I think that this Schedule 3 thing, obviously, like when that happened, it was like everyone was in an uproar, right? And like people still are, they're like, I know people even in the legal market, Mozzie, like my homies at like Revert were saying, they're worried that like they're just going to shut everything down one day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like because it's Schedule 3, they're going to be like, oh, you can't do this without, like the pharmaceutical companies are just going to immediately take over,
It's the beauty of black
which
market.
technically they can. I learned from my lawyers that like federal law, they really can. They just don't do things. Federal law is implemented when they want to, So like, the fact that they're not completely federally legalizing it is probably because they still want to have that power. You know what I mean? They still want to be able to fuck with people if they want to. And it probably is a money thing. My brother sometimes tells me, he talks about that it's just a way to, what did he say? It's just a way. They think that we're making all this money and we've been making money for like 50 years. You know what I mean? And that's why they tax so high. That's why they want to keep it federally, is because they think like there's just kingpins out there making millions and millions and millions of dollars off growing weed, but it's just like us, like small guys.
Well, maybe
just,
because
like,
they can,
around.
but there's also something called like the sin tax. Like they love the government, not they. The government loves taxing shit that people use as enjoyment that has no benefit to society or themselves and all that shit.
You mean their small little club of rich people in politics?
Yeah. And
heavy.
it sucks. It sucks that that's the case. That's why black market's great. But like,
That's why people like farmers markets. I just like trying to compare it to other things because like it's such a rare.
it's a unique thing though. Cannabis is unique. I mean, there's nothing else that's been outlawed that long that's just now legalized. There's nothing. There's nothing else. There's so many different things and avenues. There's so many different avenues and so many different distribution routes and so many different genetics and so many different connections and friends and websites and different ways to get it where you don't have to pay tax or you don't have to grow it in a facility that's legal or recognized by the government, and it's still just as good, if not better, usually better.
Yeah, there really is no other product that's like that, bro.
No, maybe like some like wines and stuff. I don't know. I don't know enough about alcohol.
Mike always tells me from Pine Tree that there are moonshine runners. And like people who really do that in the South, and that's like a thing. People like love their shine.
Oh
plug.
yeah. That's a real thing. That's a real thing.
And he was
for
like,
sure.
it was funny, dude. He was like trying to tell me. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, dude. He's like, you never had some real shine. He's like, I'm gonna get you some real shine. I'm like, dude, you're
Jesus.
crazy, Mike.
Yeah,
Mike should be in Florida.
Is it shitty?
He should live in Florida.
Yeah, I mean,
shout out to you, brother. You should live in the South. The
They've
deep
got
South.
I'm sure he'd do fine down there. They've got I think people are growing down there.
In
For
Florida,
for sure.
Well, you know what's funny is that like culture out in Florida. I didn't know the Swamp Boys.
They
was in
have
Florida.
cannabis culture down. I thought they were Louisiana.
I saw something the other day that was Florida, but either way, it's like that area. Like I didn't know they were from down there. Makes sense with the name.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that they did Triangle Kush or something else. There was something else too that they did.
They did
I didn't
Triangle?
know.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I guess so. Yeah, I saw that.
Crazy.
I didn't know.
Damn. That's some good shit. I don't think I've had anything from them recently.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
stoked.
you know what's funny is all the Mac that I see, because that guy, it's because that guy's like very pro black market.
Capulator?
Yeah. You know, and like I've told you about people that I fucked with when I lived in the Bay back then, that still are in the black market. You know what I mean? And you kind of like you love them and respect them, dude. You know, in like a weird cowboy way. But I don't know. You know, I think
It's tiring to live that life. I'm sure. But oh shit. But like
yeah, I forgot. We're watching City again. We're watching City of God right now. I forgot how good this movie was. It's been taking me away. This might be one of the only ones dude. So this is like the 11th show. This might be the first one where like the movie might be a problem.
the dude
Because I just keep watching it. I'm like,
running
damn,
from the
dude.
cops.
I don't.
I mean, if someone gets shot by the cops and he's running away from, I'm gonna turn my head and watch.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh no, he's gone. Anyways,
Yeah, good movie.
yeah, this is a great movie. It's a great choice, man. This is
Yeah.
almost too good. Of
Yeah,
a
that's what I'm
choice.
saying. I feel like it's too good. It's like the first time it was like too good.
But honestly, just to summarize, man, like Connecticut's program sucks. Rhode Island's program's all right. Maine's program's great, fine.
Massachusetts is so free commerce.
Yeah, you know, I think Mass is actually getting better. I think in the weirdest ways, it's like a roads growing out of concrete type situation.
True.
Where there's still trash and a lot of those roads just die, but like there's a couple producers now that are making decent rosin. Bountiful Farms.
Bountiful Farms
yeah,
is
it's
a
one
great
that I've tried
product.
to.
Yeah, I've
they're
loved them
making
since the beginning.
good rosin coming from those guys.
Good flour too, dude. They got good
Yeah,
products.
I haven't seen much of
It's
their
good.
flour, but I'd like to check it out. Yeah.
Me and you've met Skylar. Shout out Lur. When we were gonna do something in Massachusetts like 6 years ago. This is before we got this place, and we were gonna do like a legal grow in Mass. So we were smart enough to like the first thing we did was we just spent a bunch of money at dispensaries and just tried to see the competition. We're like, I don't want to like say anyone's weed is bad unless I buy it and smoke it and it's bad. Bountiful Farms, out of 12 companies we got, was the only good one, and it was really good.
Most of
And
Mass
it's
weed
funny,
sucks.
dude. And we, you know, that was 6 years ago.
It still sucks.
But it's funny how like that's like sometimes that's all you got to do, right? Is like
Just get better. Yeah.
no. Just see in the legal market specifically, there is good weed in there, but like you have to go through so much shit usually.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Like I still have not seen good flour from Massachusetts yet. I've seen good rosin. I was shocked. It wasn't like
And
the
it was
best,
bountiful.
but it was good. Yeah, it was definitely medical. And that's the one thing that's annoying. It is hard to get mass medical when you don't have a medical card
Yeah.
from Mass. Like they don't reciprocate. Like you can't have a Connecticut or Maine or New York medical card. Very stupid, but I guess it kind of keeps that stuff exclusive, and they keep it That's why they're able to have that quality because they don't produce that much. Maybe I usually have a buddy go to the local mass dispensary whenever like they have a sale, and like you can get that
Bountiful Farms
you
rosin.
can get that dirt cheap. Like if I ever need like a stash of like good rosin that's like worth 60 a gram that they're selling for like 30 or 40.
Damn.
Yeah, it's just worth to get a few grams, especially
Right.
if your friend's going, just to have it because like their stuff tastes, their Z tastes like Z, and their well, I don't think they have Z, but like their stuff tastes like
candy, good hash.
Their stuff tastes like the stuff that tastes like, which is nice. But no, I don't think they had Z. They had something else that was really fruity and like kind of gave me a vibe, or like that kind of like the whole Skittles tropical like zesty lime mentality, but I forgot what it was.
Yo, I got 3 friends. One of them's fucking what's his name from Custom for 20? Ryan. That all got powdery mildew from ChemDog clones
That sucks.
that they got at the dispensaries and shit.
That
Isn't that crazy?
sucks. Why would you? Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, it's just the whole thing
Especially with that name, too. It's like they're in the weed community, man. Like that could fucking destroy you.
he's
It's like
lucky.
ChemDog's like legendary shit, and that you have a legal thing in Boston, and then you get like a little thing like that going around. You'll never
It's crazy.
sell
He'll
a
tell
clone
you, like-
again. You'll never
Yeah.
sell a clone
Yeah.
again.
Well, that's the thing. It's like
Even a big name like that.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like he sells clones to his homies, and like his people. Those are the people that get the real deal ones, not some dispensary that's getting like the Barbie doll.
Maybe.
I mean, that's got to be it. That's at least if I were him, that's what I would claim. Yeah,
I get that.
Yeah, man. I remember when my buddy went to like a drop that he had, the greatest hits drop. Like Cam literally told him what to get. Like Greg told him what to get.
Yeah.
and he was like, "Get that." And he's like, "All right, I'll only get that one."
Interesting. Yeah.
And it was good. So like, it is what it is, man. I mean, this is just all like trying things out. Like we're allowed to fail. We're allowed to have bad batches, consecutive bad batches. Just don't give up. Keep trying. Keep trying. Don't cheat people.
How many good growers do we know that got HLV and then had to start over again and killing it?
Yeah.
Trav's one of them. He's open about it. You know what I mean? So like, there's people
It's not like it's
Yeah.
AIDS.
like do call it plant AIDS.
Yeah, but it's not like you got it. But still, the plants overcome, or your grow overcomes. The plants don't overcome. The grow overcomes.
Yeah.
But yeah, is that in the past now?
What?
That virus?
HLV?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I've heard of Tommy was thinking in Arizona that they got it there. People, it's out there. If you grow weed and you are like you could get it, like you'd be stupid to think that you can't.
Yeah.
I just know people who don't take in clones. A lot of people don't even, dude.
Oh, that's right. Just grow from seed.
I know
guess,
someone
right?
who
Can it
wouldn't
travel
even.
through
I
seed?
tried to give someone the strawberry cream cheese seeds. They like wouldn't take it
What do you mean? Why not?
because they think that maybe HLV could be on seeds.
So then
like,
what the
I never
hell-
had
what
it.
the hell do
but
they- how do these-
people are crazy. People are picky. They don't because of that. Like I'm saying, they're like, I'm not risking it. I have a good grow. I'm not gonna take anyone's shit.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
not
yeah.
even new seeds.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Damn.
My brother, again, this won't come out for a while, but my brother just started doing them. So
What?
strawberry cream cheese technically could come back.
I mean, it is gonna come back.
Yeah, it is. But
Well, it might not be the same form.
It won't be the same exact
Damn.
thing. You know what I mean?
Maybe we could call it something else.
I probably should. What would be a strawberry cream cheese hybrid name?
Strawberry bear claw. I don't know.
We'll have to smoke it first.
Yeah.
Maybe a jelly roll.
I mean, we're clearly thinking about the breakfast theme. We're never gonna get away from this theme.
Never, dude. Never, dude. It's funny. It's been funny creating the brand for the legal market too, and like we've done such cool shit of authentic wise. Like the only reason we called ourselves Breakfast Connections was me and Skylar when we started growing weed 5 years ago in Rhode Island. We were like driving from Connecticut every day. So we would just go to like the breakfast spot before we did it, and then we got accidental pollination, and we just went with it, and we're like, we're just gonna breed our first run, and then we would just get when we were going through it all like the hermed out buds and like taking out seeds and pheno hunting that, we just kept getting breakfast shit, and like we would go to this place called Ashlon Coffee House in Old Saybrook on the way up 95.
It's good.
And dude, the best. That's probably the best coffee shop I've ever been to.
Why?
Very cool barn house decor, but either way, they had a great decor in there. Good energy, good vibe, like a good retail coffee shop where you could sit down, chill. But they also had the best source product, beans. They have a good variety of stuff. Good in-house like breakfast sandwich, small thing. They're like a Starbucks if they were like authentic, not like a chain. You know,
That's
like
cool.
literally, and it's the best one I've ever been to. And I would say that is the best one. And then there's a lot of good coffee shops I've been to in Oakland.
Oh, yeah?
In California, yeah. When I lived in the Bay Area, like Oakland, California, had some of the coolest coffee shops because a lot of them were like biker coffee shops. In a way, there was like grungy. They would like play punk rock music and like get like double shot espressos. You know, it was like cool shit. You ever been to Purgatory? Oh, you've been, yeah, obviously you've been to Purgatory.
Yeah.
And it's like that, but like even cooler. It's almost like Purgatory is a impersonation of the best coffee shops I'm talking about in Oakland.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's
like a
thing.
little hipster coffee shop.
Yeah,
deal?
like a surf and skate coffee shop.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, we're close to the ocean.
But yeah, my point is that's the only reason we did that. But see that you're right about the breakfast thing. You get me talking about that. I just went down like a fucking rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I like branding and stuff like that was when we brought it into New York in the legal market and started selling those blunts. The idea, like we would get up early for this shit. Like me and him would get up at 4 a.m, drive out here, grow weed, and go do our shit. Like people like us wake up every day and think about weed. That's why we pair it with our breakfast, our coffee, because it's part of our life. It's like a supplement, you know?
Yeah.
And those blunts, branding and marketing, that's what we've done. It's like this is a product for everyday smokers. It's affordable, it's good, and it goes with your fucking breakfast, not even just the food, but like you wake up with weed, you're a stoner. So if you got to get something done, you smoke the sativa, you're chilling, indica, base products off that, you know? So it's funny how you could be authentic and do, your branding just of who you are, and then you have to actually put it down on paper. You're like, oh, this is who I am. So anyone who's starting brands in the weed market, I advise them to do that. Don't come up with a name. Be who you are, and then have the name be who that is, and figure that out down the line. That's why breakfast works for us.
Yeah. I love breakfast.
Yeah. But for you, for Happy's Reefer, that's why I liked that with you too. Is like
It's Happy Reefer. It's not even that. It's Happy's
but
finest.
like a smiley face defines you.
Happy's finest.
A smiley face defines you. It's who you are.
Yeah, well,
and you probably didn't do that on purpose.
No, what I wanted to do was kind of make it like the anti-logo. Like I didn't want to have focus on a logo, so I wanted to be the most plain Jane, simple thing ever. I'm like, a simple smiley face will work. And then I realized that I can have a little play on it. Like, you know, in the summer I can have one with glasses, and in fall, like Halloween, I can have like a little vampire. But
sick,
like,
dude.
it's just in the end, it's still like that standard Joe Boxer smiley face.
Yeah, but it's funny, like that's what I'm saying, where like you weren't like, I'm gonna be a smiley face because like I'm a happy guy. But like if anyone who knows you and loves supporting you, they know that. Like you were saying, like you're that in between guy.
It's
even
like
between people having beef.
Yeah.
You're just happy guy.
It
you know?
kind of has like a whole like kind of like hush hush thing going on too. It's just like a smiley face. You don't know what it is, what's going on. Happy's finest. What? You know?
Yeah. Well, that's like what I'm saying, where you can put something out there, and you can start a brand creatively, and then it defines who you are. So anyone who's starting a brand, I advise you do something like that. Start with something fun, and then have it define who you are, and that's where your brand goes. So I'm very happy to have you on, bro. Maybe one day we'll have you on video.
Maybe. Yeah. Keep your fingers crossed.
Love you, buddy.
Love you too.
There you go. That was good.
Yeah.
Good job.
Good shit.
That was good, man.
Dude, it's so smoky in here.
The window's open too, bro.
Oh my god, I feel bad. I'm sorry.